so far. Today has been a day of packing and cleaning up the house so we have less of a disaster zone to come back to, and filling up the car, re-getting anything that we used up through the week, like the food and stuff that we're supposed to take with us, so we don't have to buy food everywhere we go, and clear liquids for me to have after midnight. I almost feel like I'm cheating because I took my medications that I'm not supposed to have before surgery because my surgery is so early. I'm really, really hoping that despite the ME/CFS and the idiopathic hypersomnia, I can manage to stay awake because I cut myself off. They said, that I cut myself off of they said not take it the day of the surgery. However, I don't want it to interact. My narcolepsy medication and my ME/CFS medication, none of those, no stimulants, no stimulants, and no pain control because I use homeopathies for pain control and over-the-counter like ibuprofen, Burback Body, and I can't have either of those before the surgery. So none of those at all today, no OTCs today. But homeopathies, yes, today. And as long as I don't fall asleep, which may be asking like a miracle in and of itself, then I won't suffer, hopefully. Because lately I've been having that uptick of pain in the evening when I get home from work. And I've been taking an evening dose of the stuff that I take in the morning to control my pain, about 5 or 6. So went ahead and took it, even though my surgery, we were gonna stop by my house and do all that kind of stuff tonight, but we decided it'd be better to do it in the morning, closer to the surgery, so I'd be fresh as fresh can be, because I'm getting that typical spoony, we've been camping stuff going again. For a few days unfresh, but I did shave. I shaved my legs and trimmed my toenails and my fingernails and other important things to hygienically take care of yourself when you're going to be laying naked on a table with your crotch in someone's face. Let's put it that way. God, I say anything, don't I? Just bleep that out if I use captions. Anyway, so Cam has been running around with like a chicken with his head cut off in so many different directions. I have been biding my time, mostly in the restroom, trying to make miracles happen. That stopped again for like a week straight. So I'm pretty uncomfortable, and I was hoping that I doubled up on my prescription for that, and it's still not, they're not getting results. Not getting results. No, that's not good. So I am going to, it's been a pretty lazy day on my behalf because my stomach has been messed up, and I've been just trying to stay out of his way because he's like frantic. It's not like he gets like mean or grumpy or anything when he's frantic, but he's like a I don't know, he's like spaz, man. When he gets like doing stuff, and he starts going in 28 different directions at once, he starts like dripping anxiety, sweating, like freaking out, and it's just like it's just better to steer clear. He won't snip at me or anything, but he's just like all over like he gets himself worked into like a frenzied anxiety mess. So I've just been steering clear, and like I said, I left everything pretty much packed last week. I just used whatever to get through this week that was already around here. And so everything that was ready to go is still ready to go, except for like my cell phones and stuff and my wallet. So I'm pretty much ready to go now. Oops, see, I even shaved my underarms so you can tell. Oh, it's so gross. I share everything. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm gonna still take a late night shower, and hopefully that will help keep me awake. Because we are going to be getting out of here around, oh, now the sun is in my face. I gotta change positions. We're gonna be getting out of here around 2 o'clock in the morning. So it'll be like the first time I've seen 2 a.m. in forever. Like since I got sick. Unless I was woken up from pain insomnia, because I don't even, I have the last 2 years in a row, I have not been able to make midnight, even for New Year's Eve. Um, so it would be a bad haircut if I could keep it styled. But I can't style hair. I'm not girly. I'm like the most ungirly. Well, not the most ungirly. I don't know how to tear apart cars and stuff, and I do not like bugs, so I'm not totally ungirly. I'm just a tomboy. I feel like I'm cheating because it's like if I can manage to avoid a flare up in my symptoms, it's like I took the medication I'm not supposed to take the day of my surgery, because it's so freaking early that they'll be cutting into me that the meds might just be wearing off by the time they go in, and that would be ideal. Um, that would be ideal. So after midnight, I'm like a mogwai. You can't feed me. Um, just clear liquids. It's a very generous surgery, though. I believe the last 2 times that I had it, I couldn't have anything. But I wasn't on. It was 3 years ago. I got sick with all these problems, but a genetic disorder I was born with. And when I was diagnosed with it, when I had my first 2 lung surgeries, that was about 8 years ago. And I couldn't have anything the day of. And no, like, they wanted me off all prescription medications and stuff. But I wasn't really on anything because I wasn't in the jalopy of a body that I've got now. So I didn't have to go off of anything. But if they wanted me to be a clean specimen in every sense of the word. And so this time I at least have the potential to feel better in a lot of respects than last week. Last week was god-awful. I was suffering. There's no way to describe what I was experiencing besides abject suffering. And so far, except for this morning, once I got under control, my pain and stuff has been tolerable, and that's good. And I haven't asked much myself as far as running around and stuff, so I'm not terribly exhausted. I'm hoping that will help me push past midnight and be able to stay up the whole time, because if I sleep, I'm going to be in pain again. Because the wonders of the sleep cycle decided it was important to turn off your natural anti-inflammatories and everything when it turns on your circadian rhythm. Natural anti-inflammatories get turned off, and your natural pain dampeners get turned off. All that gets turned off when you go into sleep mode in your circadian rhythm. And until your circadian rhythm comes back online, you are inflamed and in pain. That's why everybody aches in the morning. The older and older that we get, we feel that, even if we're well. So if you have a pain disorder or pain processing disorder, central sensitization type disorder, that's going to aggravate things. And I'm unmedicated for my RA, have been for a week, because I was supposed to stop my biologic the last 2 weeks along. on my last shot, which I did, which is exactly 2 weeks before last week when I was supposed to have my surgery. So now I'm a week of totally off of my any medication for my RA, except steroid as needed. Oh, and they are going to, this time, another benefit. I'm 2 days off of my antipsychotic, 2 days before and 2 days after. They switched me from the injection to pills so that I could stop it before and after. So I'm also off my antipsychotic. Hey, hey, time to party. Staying up all night, and she's off her antipsychotics. She might be becoming bipolar, manic again. I hope not. We don't need somebody manic running around the hospital right after surgery when they're not supposed to get out of bed. What I'm hoping is that I will continue to be this functional, not dysfunctional, but this functional, and this tolerable in my symptoms. Yeah, my stomach is whack, it's a mess, it hurts, so does the rest of me, but whatever, it's tolerable, it's better than usual, and that I can stay at least this well, and then one of the last things we're going to do is take showers, which is what we're supposed to do. Last time we did it the night before, so we could just leave in the morning and didn't have to fuss with it, and I'd rather do it the day of the surgery, to make sure that everything is like bacteria free and ready to go. And so that's the last thing we're going to do before we leave, in the middle of the night. And it'll drain me. It always does. It's exhausting. Ask any chronically ill person. Most people, with especially like autonomic nervous system disorders, central nervous system disorders, showering is a challenge. And that's all I got. I just got a shower, no bathtub. But it's difficult and it's taxing, but it's not like sleep inducing. It's exhausting, not sleep inducing, but maybe that'll just lullaby me for the ride, and if I can stay awake until my surgery, that I will be acceptable, like not suffering for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, just saying, fuck it, I don't care what organ they take out. If they want to take my hand, just somebody dose me up with something that's going to stop this pain. That's how I was feeling last week when I went in. I'm like, I don't care what they want to do, what they want to chop up, or what they want to take off. Just somebody shoot me up with something for the pain. Oh my God, I was in so much pain. And so that's why I'm trying to stay awake, to avoid that. And I'm hoping that I'll be just very tired, have my surgery, come out, everything will be good and great, and I'll find Cam there waiting for me instead of waking up in the recovery room like I did once and freaked out. I warned them about that. I freaked out as I didn't know where I was or what was going on. A bunch of big nurses had to hold me down because I couldn't. They're like, don't raise your head, don't sit up. And I'm like, ah. So hopefully I don't do that. Hopefully I just wake up in my room and Cam is there. And then I go to sleep for like the rest of my time in the hospital. Will help. But I'm just yammering. So I'm going to go back there in a little while in those fields yonder and take a walk because I'm going to be bedbound for a few days, so it's probably a good idea.